Good evening and welcome to Newsbite. I am Nicole Peters and making the headlines this week. By-election winner announced, Making March Marine continues with the Ocean Festival, and the latest sports roundup. Mike Olson has been appointed to council after getting 2/3 of the vote in Wednesday's by-election. The Independent's editor won over rival Lionel Williams with 214 votes against Williams's 104. August Graham was in the council chambers to witness the count.
326 people went out in the wet and windy conditions on Wednesday to vote in a by-election for one of two candidates, Mike Olson and Lionel Williams.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming along. Some of you will have gone through this process before, but just to remind ourselves what we have to do tonight. The procedure which is set out in the election regulations requires me to open each box, count the total number of ballot papers in each box, announce the result and record it. I will then have to mix all the ballot papers together. We will, for convenience of the count, sort them in little bundles of 25 or whatever the case may be, and then we will begin the count, and the counting clerks will count the surnames, we'll use the surnames, and then we'll have another counting clerk actually recording the names. At the end of the count, candidates can request a recount if the result is very close, but at the end of the day it is my decision to refuse a recount if I feel the request is unreasonable. And then if there is a tie, then the successful candidate will be known by drawing a lot. That is also written into the elections regulations.
Ballot boxes from across the island were opened in the council chambers at just past 8 in the evening, where the candidates and their supporters had gathered. Veteran candidate Lionel Williams has stood several times in the past, but not done well, only gathering a handful of votes. In this by-election, he clearly had a chance to mobilise support against the more controversial Olson. It certainly seemed he had managed to do this as the first votes were read out, but Olson soon took the lead. However, Williams still managed to get his supporters out in force. Last time he got just under 40 votes, but now he came out with 104, his best result since the general election in 2013.
Olson. Legislative Council elections, by-election 23rd of March 2016, declaration of results. The result of the polling for the by-election 23rd of March 2016 is as follows. Olson, Per Michael, 214 votes. Williams, Lionel George, 104 votes. I accordingly declare Per Michael Olson to have been duly elected to serve as a member of the Legislative Council for St. Helena.
Olson was congratulated by his friends and supporters and the election and government officials. He gained 2/3 of the 326 votes that had been cast, propelling him into council.
So you got about 2/3 of the vote here today. Yeah. How do you feel? Do you want to thank your supporters at all?
Yes, of course. I thank my supporters and everybody who voted for me. But a bigger turnout would have been nice, of course.
So what's next for you?
I just had somebody whispering in my ear that the first thing to do, of course, I'm not a councillor yet. I'm not sworn in as councillor. That will be 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
So that's a ceremony here at the castle with the acting governor?
Yeah, with the acting governor. If it is a ceremony as such, I don't know. Somebody will take a photograph, I guess. It's not a big deal.
So after that, the first thing you're going to do as a councillor, any ideas yet?
I think it's perfect because we got the Easter weekend. So I will be back to you on that one next week because I got 4 days to sleep on it.
Last weekend was a busy one for ocean lovers as a host of Making March Marine events took place. The annual dive cleanup was held on Saturday in rough sea conditions, and on Sunday the ever-popular coast-to-coast walk took place, which saw 80 walkers taking part. The walk ended at the wharf where there was an 18-stall market along with water sports in the bay. Despite the rain and the rough sea, many people went along for the afternoon. We spoke to Tourism's Chris Pickard to find out how the day was going.
Seems to be going very well, and it's the weather's in that sort of way that people can come down and enjoy themselves, enjoy the food, and enjoy all the different stalls selling all sorts of items, from jewellery to, of course, cupcakes, as I've got one with a whale shark on myself, yellow in colour, different style.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see everybody out and about on a Sunday, and helps bring people into the town. We're hoping the next market will be the 2nd of April on a Saturday, and that's going to be a special one with the Antiques Roadshow, because we have Tim Wanacott, who many of the islanders will know is coming in, who does Bargain Hunt and the BBC's Antiques Roadshow. He'll be on the island, he's going to be down. So if anybody's got anything that they think is valuable, please bring it down, and Tim and other experts will have a look at it and see if we find any hidden treasures.
Here is Liam Yan with the latest sports roundup.
Although plagued by intermittent showers, Longwood Golf Club was able to complete 3 tournaments on the weekend. On Saturday, 27 players helped the golf club to belatedly celebrate St. Patrick's Day and took part in an 18-hole Stableford sponsored by the O'Keefe family. Helen Stevens led the way in the ladies sector, taking first place honours with 32 Stableford points. She was closely followed by Joan Thomas, who shot 31. Helen also took the prize for the ladies' longest drive on the 4th and nearest the pin on the 11th. In the men's section, Martin Jackson Buckley returned 38 points to take first place. Snapping at his heels in second on 37 was Jeffrey Foxy Stevens. Sunday saw the final round of the late Arnold Flagg Challenge Cup. Hensel Beard finished in the first place on 147 after a comeback with Norman Thomas, who finished in second. In other competitions, Brian Fritz Joshua became match play knockout champion after defeating Niall O'Keefe in the final. In cricket, AJ Bennett enjoyed a return to form as St. Paul's defeated Leverwood Rebels by 9 wickets on Saturday morning. Rebels batted fast and struggled to 114. There were run-outs aplenty as Rebels lost needless wickets. Brooklyn Fowler once again shone with a display of brutal hitting, but he too was run out for 37. In the run chase, AJ Bennett slashed a brutal 66 to send St. Paul's on the path to victory. Andrew Plato contributed an unbeaten 20 runs and Derek Richards 10. In Saturday's afternoon match, Greg Coleman took 2 for 14, Gareth Johnson 2 for 11, and Sanjay Klingham 2 for 1, as Leverwood All-Stars trounced Jamestown Zodiacs, bowling them for 47. Cruyff Buckley and John Lambden both scored 8 runs, the highest score produced by any of their batsmen. Dane Liu smashed 32 during All-Stars run chase, which saw them lose just 1 wicket, and surpassed the required total in 3.4 overs. Kristen George finished with figures of 1 for 13 for Zodiacs. On Sunday morning, Pirates delivered a thrashing to an 8-man Mustangs team, who were bowled for 28. Luke Bennett's 11 was the top scorer. Darren Isaac's 3 economical 4-over spell accounted for the majority of Mustangs' wickets. The opening bowler finished with figures of 3 for 14 from 4 overs. Pirates were brutal during the run chase and almost knocked off the score in the first over. Ryan Belgrove struck a quick unbeaten 23 and Ian Williams, 2 not out, hit the winning runs in a run chase that lasted just 1.4 overs. The last match on Sunday saw Dolphins win an exciting encounter with Warriors. Dolphins posted 150 in 20 overs and restricted Warriors to 114 during the run chase. David Young smashed an unbeaten 66 and Ruan Dipanar added 24. Eddie Duff and Jody Henry both took 2 wickets for Warriors. They batted far too slowly in the run chase and could only manage 114 of 20 overs. Eddie hit the top score of 34 before being dismissed by Martin Collins, who finished the match with 3 wickets for 17 runs. Women's volleyball continued on Sunday. Survivors edged a close 3-set affair with St. Satas in the first match of the day. Having won the first set 25-22, Survivors lost the second 7-25 before recovering to take the final set 15-10. Rosie Bargo was lady of the match. In the final match, Darrell Lake was lady of the match as Good Valley Miss Molly completed a straight sets victory over Ballsy Ladies. That's it for the sports this week. Back to you, Nicole.
Thank you, Liam. That brings us to the end of another Newsbite. Be sure to tune in again next week for more top stories. I am Nicole Peters and thank you for watching.